In general, converged infrastructure really is the new fundamental building block of IT, specifically for cloud architectures. So, several of the characteristics of converged infrastructure make it very well suited to cloud deployments, including its ability to pool IT resources, to automate resource provisioning, and to be able to easily scale up or down in terms of capacity to meet the needs of dynamic computing workloads like you find in cloud architectures. So in terms of agility, converged infrastructure and the cloud have a huge impact in terms of deployment times and in terms of OpEx. Some of the vendors cite statistics such as an 84% reduction in provisioning times. And if you think about it, something just as low tech as cabling, and that you can achieve a 77% reduction in cabling time by leveraging pre-cut cables, it underscores really the complexity that these types of solutions can help remove from the equation. Of course, you can also get higher compute densities by leveraging virtualization, which can lower overall power and cooling costs. And this is where you really need to start thinking about how you adapt your business continuity policies to this new converged and virtualized world. Because the reality is that virtualization has made the power equation, if you will, far more complex. Virtualization has challenged the concept of what a server is, or indeed where a given server is physically located at any given time. How you can expose the power infrastructure state to the virtualization and cloud layers, how do you enable policy-driven integration between your power infrastructure and these upper orchestration layers? And it's how you answer these questions, which is really going to determine whether or not you have thought through the business continuity aspects of moving to a converged or cloud architecture. Now, people have a tendency, and we know this, to overlook the impacts on the power infrastructure as they assume power is just going to be there, often because of organizational complexities, as many times a different group actually manages the facility side of things. But this is really a mistake. Not factoring in power leads inevitably to increased risk by not adapting your business continuity policies with best practices, and or increased cost due to over-provisioning of the power infrastructure. Ignoring it may also result in suboptimal operating conditions. With impacts like these that can affect your bottom line, these are the types of mistakes that you really want to avoid in today's competitive environment. Cloud adoption really is taking off. It's not just marketing hype. I'm sitting here as a marketing guy telling you that, so I don't know if you'll believe me. But really, there's no denying it. And it is one of the key drivers behind converged infrastructure and its market adoption that we're seeing. That said, the degree of adoption and really the type of cloud deployments, whether it's public, private, or hybrid, varies a lot based on the market segment you're talking about. So for enterprise deployments, private clouds are often more comfortable for the IT organization because it's easier to ensure control and it's closer to the model that they're most comfortable with. Of course, it brings the added benefit of increasing operational agility. However, hybrid deployments for enabling compute elasticity for a given application that may require it, and also for business continuity backup or popular architectural choices. In terms of business continuity, if you go for a cloud-based solution, you really need to think about things like ensuring that your cloud backup site isn't in the same multi-tenant data center where you have some or all of your own infrastructure. It may seem obvious, but it has happened to people. You don't want to be in a position where you're failing over to the same physical site where you already have an issue. So you should also think through when and how you want to fail over to a backup site, right? So which are my most critical applications and what is the data that I really need to protect? Typically, people want to keep their critical applications up for as long as possible. You want to start by automating simple policies that help you achieve this goal, right? You can do this by optimizing the time you have on backup generator and on batteries, by prioritizing applications, shedding non-critical load. So for example, if a power environmental issue is more localized, you can automatically trigger a virtual machine to migrate to an unaffected zone. Or if all else fails and you reach your point of no return, you can trigger a site recovery plan to ensure that your critical data is replicated to your backup site. Again, by integrating what's happening at the power infrastructure layer to the virtualization and cloud orchestration layers, it really enables you to put in place policy-driven automation. Now, you don't want to automate everything. This isn't realistic and it's not desirable even. But you do want to ask yourself if your power infrastructure today makes it simple for you to protect your critical cloud workloads.